So I'm gonna give y'all a quick story time or whatever, right? So I was fucking with this dude, and we had agreed from the very beginning that, obviously he came to stay with me, but he was gonna take care of all of the bills. And he actually did that for a very long time. Not a very long time, but for like a year. Anyway, long story short, I didn't have to work. No, I didn't want for anything. Like, I didn't want for anything. I didn't have to beg, whatever. Anything I asked for, I got it, pretty much. So we had fell into having issues or whatever the case may be, because I guess he felt like I wasn't giving the attention that he thought he deserved. But I can't sit by and fuck on a nigga who isn't willingly taking care of his children. You know what I'm saying? A part of me may have been very selfish in the beginning and not cared about, the baby mothers or what they were going through or whatever the case may be. But when I see, it's not about the relationship that you have with the mothers, it's the relationship that you have with the children. And when you don't have a relationship with your children, especially with me not having my father in my life, I'm side-eyeing the fuck out of you. So because he wasn't being a willing participant in his children's life, I stopped fucking with him. Like, for a whole, almost 6 months, I stopped fucking him. So anyway, he thought he was going to go get his attention from somewhere else, because like most men, they are going to go with the path of least resistance. And to me, that's fine. I don't give a fuck what you do as long as you continue to pay the bills where you stay at. Whole time, he started slowly but surely pulling away, wasn't giving me money when I needed it to take care of certain things, and it became a really big issue. So one time I'm asking him for the rent, and all of a sudden now he's saying that he ain't got it. So now I'm frustrated, because we have clearly been doing this for almost a year, and regardless if you want to fuck with somebody else, I literally don't care. You community dick. To me, anyway. So just continue to take care of what you've been taking care of. Let me preface this. Throughout the duration of this time, I'm looking for a job or whatever. So I'm actively looking for a job, but he's slowly but surely pulling away. And I'm not really noticing it at the time, because when you in grind mode looking for it, looking for a job is a full-time fucking job. So you know what I'm saying? I'm not really too much focused on him. I'm just yo, give me the money so I can make sure these bills paid, so we both have a place to stay. Now, I have dealt with all kinds of abuse, whether it be psychological, emotional, physical even, in my past. But the thing that to me, the most detrimental thing you can do is be financially abusive. Now it's to the point where you're being manipulative and you want somebody to clamor to your every will to beg you to do stuff for them. Little did this motherfucker know, I am not the motherfucking one. I am the type to cut my nose to spite my fucking face. I would rather end up homeless, grinding, looking for a fucking job, than to beg a nigga to pay my fucking bills. Especially when we both already said, this is the agreement, this is what's going to happen. Long story short, he didn't pay the bills on time, so I decided to throw his shit in the trash. Point blank, period. So anyway, within a couple of weeks, I'm not even gonna hold you. Obviously, he wasn't living with me no more. We didn't have nothing left to talk about. Whatever, goodbye. The thing that was crazy is within a couple of weeks, I got on my feet. I'm talking about after I kicked him out of my house, after I got rid of that weird ass, bad ass, negative ass energy, I ended up getting a position within a couple of weeks, and the shit actually fell in my lap. And this is why you have to give all it, you have to not not get nervous, because I was rightfully nervous. You know what I'm saying? I was about to end up with a fucking eviction notice. I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. But at the end of the day, there was nothing I can do about it. As long as I kept grinding and doing what the fuck I was supposed to do, I knew I was gonna end up in a good spot. So even when I was in my most nervous times, I was just calm the fuck down, because worrying about where I'm gonna end up is not going to put me in a position where, you know what I'm saying, I'm getting anywhere fast. So I literally gave all of my discretions to my creator, and within a couple of weeks, I promise you, it fell into my fucking lap. This lady hit me up out of the blue. I can't tell you the last time I worked with this company. She hit me up and literally said, could you start working 5 days? We'll be sending you out a laptop. Make sure that you take your speed test. Make sure that you do this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. I sent her back the information. She sent me back my acceptance letter or my congratulations letter or whatever the case may be, and I started work within a couple of fucking weeks. Now, granted, even when I had started work, obviously, you gotta wait for your paycheck for at least 2 weeks or whatever the case may be, 2 to 3 weeks. So during this time, I'm like trying to work with my complex, and I'm even reaching out to the local Department of Social Service to see if they can help with back rent. I'm doing everything that I have to do. I still ended up with an eviction notice, and I'm being really candid with y'all. I still ended up with an eviction notice on my motherfucking door. By the graces of Goddess, by the graces of Goddess, I was literally like putting my pride to the side and going through the local Department of Social Service, DSS, to help with my back rent, and they finally granted it. They took more than half of my debt away, and I had to go ahead and pay the rest. I say all of that to say this. Nothing is worse than watching someone try to bring you down to your knees, and not even like by accident, but like on purpose, because they can't have you a particular kind of way. They don't have access to your body. They know that you don't want them in your home, and you don't even want to touch them. You find them disgusting, and they know this. So to try to punish you, they would try to take away your livelihood and not stay obligated to the commitment that they set out. Because I'm such a real nigga. If I was a guy and I knew I couldn't, get no pussy from the woman that I'm in the crib with, but somebody else is giving it to me, and I know this woman went out her way to offer me a place to stay when I was living in an uncomfortable situation, I would never fuck over the person who lended a hand to me when I needed it the most. I would have continued to pay up the bills until shorty got a job, and then I would have breezed. I would have specifically waited until I'll be like, yo, you gonna have to show me some letter or something that's basically stating like you working, and I understand you don't want me here no more, but you know what I'm saying? I'll at least look out for you until you get on your feet, and then I'll breeze. We ain't even gotta talk to each other no more. But niggas are, and it's crazy, this be older niggas too. Niggas are so motherfucking immature. Like I said, they rather watch you scramble. They rather be disrespectful. They rather do all of the fucking things. This same exact person, probably still stalking me now, stalked me, created at least 10 accounts by now. In the last, it's only 6 months that we're in the 7th month of the year. Created at least 10 accounts trying to get in contact with me, trying to talk to me on my live, calling my phone, leaving me messages, leaving me voicemails, because he knew. And I mean, I have a history with this person. So in the past, that shit might have worked in the past. This person don't know I'm a whole grown ass fucking woman now. And I do not play about my livelihood. I don't give a fuck about how good you eat pussy, or how good you sling dick, or how much money you sent to my fucking Cash App. And I know that you spent a lot. However, you fucked up when them motherfuckers came to my door and put an eviction notice on my shit. And I almost lost my fucking crib. I'm talking about having police officers come to my fucking door, having me like, I'm all anxiety filled and everything. I didn't have nobody to run to with my motherfucking problems but my motherfucking self. Because guess what? I put myself into that situation. That was and I always told myself I would never move with a nigga, but I thought this situation would be different because I had history with this person. And like I said, in the very beginning, he followed through on everything that right into the end, right in like, we started dealing with each other November of 2022. We stopped dealing with each other by November 2023. Literally a whole entire year. It was until the ass end of the motherfucking year that the nigga just decided that he didn't want to do what he wanted to do no more. And at the end of the day, that is fine and well. However, when you have shared the most intimate parts of your body with somebody, when you have confided in somebody, you know what I'm saying? When you have allowed them into your home, you would think the last thing that they would try to do to you, especially when you allow them a place to stay, is to shit on you when you are at your lowest. So that bitch could never have access to me again. I have dealt with cheating. I have dealt with verbal abuse. I have dealt with, you know what I'm saying? I have dealt with emotional abuse. I will never, ever, I mean, I'm not dealing with any abuse, period. But I would never, ever, 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 ever in life, one, put myself in another situation again where somebody is taking care of everything and I don't have any income coming in, because I did have income and then my unemployment, went away. But anyway, I will never be with somebody, even if they are taking care of all of the bills, and not have like a little nest egg or something saved the fuck up. And I also will never allow a nigga to stay with me again. He could come over and we can have, sleepovers and shit like that. But as far as a nigga ever staying in my crib again, it's a wrap. It's a motherfucking wrap. And I'm not fucking playing. You have to be very clear on your boundaries that you set for yourself, because as soon as I started setting boundaries, as soon as my lifestyle started changing, where I was saying I didn't want to drink no more, where I was fasting, where I was getting up, exercising, making smoothies and shit like that, niggas will purposely try to sabotage you. Niggas will purposely try to bring junk food into your crib, bring beer and alcohol into your crib, and order all kinds of, unnecessary junk food and shit like that to try to sabotage you, because the one thing that a nigga hate the most is when he thinks that you are becoming better than him.